It's like the internet doesn't want my Turtles Batman review. What's happening, people? It's Scaling Gear, and we have some monumental things to talk about today. Actually, earth-shattering things. Just what am I talking about? Well, the Batman is official now. More after this. Call me crazy, but I kind of thought that Robert was already officially cast as Batman like a couple weeks ago, but apparently that wasn't a done deal, and now it is after agreeing to his visions for the character, and I'm just kind of like biting my knuckle like, yeah, some of these things that Pattinson wants is kind of, well, I mean, I can understand it from an actor's point of view, and, you know, wanting to do your own Batman, that's fine, but kind of foregoing everything that came before you and rewriting a character that's already established in continuity with future characters. So, I mean, what happens to the Justice League now? Aquaman, the toys for Shazam, the Wonder Woman stuff, everything is just all now so confusing. It's like the MCU plus, you know, Fox, they're Marvel. It just, I don't even know how to wrap my head around this. I'm so sorry. I mean, I heard rumors that, you know, the Batman movie was going to kind of be its own standalone universe with the opportunity of introducing the Bat family members. So with Snyder, we wouldn't have gotten the Bat family. And with Affleck, he did actually want to introduce the Bat family, but he's been kind of scratching his head as to how would you do a Red Hood movie? Richard is dead! There's no Batgirl, there's no Red Hood, there's no Damian, there's nothing. The only route they could go is Frank Miller's, of course, Carrie Kelly. And people aren't really sold on Carrie Kelly. She worked in Frank Miller's universe. Kind of. So, the good thing about this is now that we have a new Batman, that means a new universe, and that means the Bat family. Matt Reeves and Robert and DC and Warner Brothers are finally all on the page for the Bat family. This means Red Hood movies, Nightwing movies, Batgirl, Ace the Bat Hound, Damian, Titans, who knows? I mean, possibilities are endless. They weren't with the Snyderverse. And don't get me wrong, I would love to see the original Snyder cut, but I think that Zack just, he took his disdain for Robin a bit too far. That's just what I'm gonna say. I'm just throwing it right out there that the dude, you know, he had a vendetta, and DC was like, no. Warner Brothers, no, because they wanted to make their own universe or whatever. But now, with this whole, not just recasting, but rewriting history, the only way that I can see of this actually working out is if they do basically their own standalone thing, like the Joker and the Chris Nolan stuff. You know, it won't be connected to the DC cinematic universe, obviously. That has a bright future because of Aquaman, Shazam, and the new Wonder Woman movie. But what does this mean for Birds of Prey? Birds of Prey was originally part of the DCEU. It was a continuation of Suicide Squad and had mentions about Batman. So what's going to happen to Batman now? At the end of Justice League, he and Wonder Woman are talking about expanding, so he's just going to completely disappear now? What happens to what they were building? I don't even understand that. And don't worry about what Batman's role in Snyder's films were. He was actually going to kill Batman off. So, I mean, I guess maybe Batman dies off camera or something, and they just replace him with somebody else, like maybe Rorschach. I don't know. I have a feeling that the DCEU is just gonna slowly die now. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. You can't really do the whole Fox and MCU thing, because now Fox and the MCU are one, so that's all gonna be one continuous thing. You know, Marvel has their head in the game. DC, I don't even think they're gonna win the multiverse race. Watch them introduce, of course, you know, old school Tobey Maguire Spider-Man as a cameo in an upcoming Spider-Man movie, and boom, you've got multiverse right there. Marvel wins. Marvel beats everybody. You watch, it could happen. It could happen. And, you know, Snyder was going to give us Flashpoint, which Actually, if Warner Brothers would have waited, probably could have been an easy rewrite, and getting rid of Ben Affleck with style and grace, and maybe recasting Superman and some other people. But nope, now it's just one big mess. Still, even though we're probably witnessing the death of the DCEU, I don't think that this is going to affect like future Aquaman or Shazam or Wonder Woman movies, because they've proven that they can do their own standalone thing, and maybe years later they could just do like a soft reboot. I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but anything is possible, I suppose. What I'm excited about the most with the new Batman casting is the possibilities for the Bat family, I'm not going to lie. But also, I like the direction that they're going with the Batman character. From what I hear, Matt Reeves and Roberts are not too opposed to storylines from the animated series as reference points for their movies. Been hearing a lot about Mask of the Phantasm, which gets me giddy as a schoolgirl, since I honestly believe the epitome of comic book movies is Mask of the Phantasm, especially for the hero's journey arc and just a lot of other emotional aspects of a superhero that we don't really see in Marvel or DC films. So, I mean, the fact that they're even open to including ideas from that animated picture, that should have everybody, like, screaming their heads off. And I've heard more than one source talk about Mask of the Phantasm when speaking about Matt Reeves' script. So that has me pretty thrilled, which is something I don't think Snyder ever would have done, considering he was basically going off Mr. Sunday Movies' video about how many people Batman killed. So, yeah, thanks, YouTube. You're the reason that Snyder went crazy and was justifying Murder Bat. With this Batman, the detective stuff is going to be cool. I think that we really haven't seen that on screen before. And again, since they're using the animated series for reference, even if they're not doing a straight adaptation, they still both like Frank Miller, and they like the early years of Batman, and we'll probably not so much see a full adaptation of Year One or Dark Victory. I think we'll see a little bit of a combination between Miller and, of course, Scott Snyder, which might actually be cool. I mean, they eventually found a way of having Snyder's work somehow also be connected to Batman Year One as well. So 0 Year and Year One kind of merged. It was a bit messy, but DC Rebirth found a way of fleshing it out and making everything still be in continuity again. I also think that we'll be introduced to other Bat characters in early movies. They are planning a trilogy, but that doesn't mean that this guy can't be signed on for other spin-offs, such as, launching like a Nightwing film or whatever. But, yeah, part of me is pretty concerned about what is going to happen to what's already made. And again, I have no fault with the actor for wanting to do his own thing and not be connected to Ben Affleck's past. But at the same time, I really was kind of down for the idea of having a younger Batman flesh out what, the BVS Batman was doing 20 years ago. That sounded like really interesting story potential, aside from the fact that, Grayson was going to become dog food. That just bothers me. But it would have been interesting to see a lot of the cool cases that Affleck was involved with in the past, and also maybe the possibility of having Ben do some like present-day monologues, where, he's strolling through Wayne Manor and he looks at some type of newspaper clipping about his first time as Batman and starts this monologue, and you go right into the introduction of what, younger Batman was like, running from the police and, being a target of everyone while he's just trying to keep Gotham safe. There was a lot of potential they could have done with that, but now that's all chucked all out the window. What we will see in Matt Reeves' movies, though, which is going to be pretty exciting, is a lot of Arkham villains. He also is a huge fan of the Arkham games. I mean, who isn't? Snyder said he was a fan of the Arkham games, which I'll give him that. He may not have liked the Bat family, but that warehouse scene from BVS, dang, that was some pretty dope stuff. It was insane. I've never seen a fight choreography for Batman like that. It was a little murdery, don't get me wrong, but it was like brutal Bat personified. That was insane. What I'm hoping to see in Matt Reeves' movies is a lot of animated series influence, like Batman sticking to the shadows, which it kind of showed some of that in Snyder's stuff, where Batman was like this scary, beast that could, you know, spook people. And at the time, I did say, you know what, this is the animated series in live action. And parts of it were parts, especially where Batman kept to the shadows and he did his disappearing act and some of that other stuff. But I really think that, you know, Vampire, Bruce Wayne, could do more of that. I also want to see more of Batman's brilliant mind, which is something that Matt Reeves is really going to bring forward to the screen. So I think a lot of us have a tremendous amount of things to be excited for, but at the same time, I think we should be putting Fs in the chat right now for the DCEU, because I don't care how good of a writer you are. There are a lot of loose ends and problems now that it's just lots of Fs, guys. Just respect. It had a good run. It had a lot of potential, but I don't know. Just like DC Rebirth, it is mostly dead. It may not be all dead quite yet. There's a difference between all dead and mostly dead. Mostly dead, you're slightly alive, but all dead, it's no good. But anyway, now I want to hear from all of you guys. How do you feel about Robert becoming the Batman fully, and his conditions or clauses for donning the cape and cowl? Are you excited or are you terrified? Let me know in the comments section below. I will keep following this story as it continues to develop. Supposedly they were going to start filming in 2019. It's possible we might see the new Batsuit, which is now no way connected to Affleck's more comic book accurate look. So I would definitely consider seeing probably like the armor again. Maybe like an Arkham Batsuit, like more armor approach and less like comic book, which is a bit sad, but at the same time, you know, it's going to take a while for this guy to bulk up. No offense. He also is currently filming a Chris Nolan movie, I believe. So, or he already filmed it, and that's going to be pretty exciting. So, you know, I'm interested to see how this guy's career plays out. I think the internet has a right to be upset with the state of the DCEU, but mark my words, probably by this summer, like at San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to be an announcement that the DCEU is gone, Superman is retired and moved on, and they'll recast him. Aquaman will do his own thing, Wonder Woman will do her own thing, Shazam will do his thing, and eventually they will get a new Justice League movie that will be in no way connected to what we saw previously. And I think it will be really cool if they can get all these actors to stick around. Wonder Woman is still pretty young, Jason Momoa is somewhat young, and of course Zachary Levi is just a baby. But yeah. Anyway, people, that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I will keep you guys up to date on all things the Batman. Till we meet again, see ya.